That the monkey was talking to him.
Can I say something before we begin?
Sure.
I just want to say that I really like this movie, and I was very hesitant to suggest this movie to my brother because I was afraid that he'd ruin it for me. But if I hadn't suggested it, I feel like I would ruin his career and then the downfall of all his work. I mean, this movie, it's gold, man.
Okay. Well, hit it. Hello, I'm Victor.
I'm Christina.
And this is the Junkyard. Christina here is my little sister. I invited her on for this review because, unlike me, she likes good movies, and thus may be able to offer a unique perspective. Also, I
told him that he owes me for featuring me on one of his videos where I was waking up half dead in a crappy campsite, and another when I was drunk.
Hey, I asked your permission to film you after the bachelorette party, and to post it on YouTube.
Was this while I was drunk?
Maybe.
Anyway, we're going to talk about Knowing with Nicolas Cage.
To start with, we both liked this movie pretty well. It didn't get a lot of attention when it came out, but it was well made and the characters were pretty sympathetic. With that said, let's get into the movie. Oh, and be mindful, it's spoilers from here on in. It starts in 1959, where a class is drawing their ideas of what the year 2009 would look like, so they can put it in a time capsule. One girl, however, is furiously writing down a series of seemingly random numbers while hearing whispering voices, and she... Yeah!
What?
This DVD is going to kill us in 7 days.
What? It's not Samara, Victor.
Well, just to be safe, do you know anyone we can lend this tape to in the next 7 days?
Anyway, the girl, Lucinda, keeps writing until the teacher takes away her paper. Next time we see her, she's scratching more numbers into a closet door.
Cut to present day, where we meet typical father struggling to connect with his son after the death of a spouse, played by Nick Cage, and his son Caleb, who has a hearing aid that will almost be important later in the film, but not quite.
Well, we then see the school opening the time capsule and handing out the 50s drawings to all the kids. Each kid gets an envelope since I guess the school has managed to keep the exact same population it had in 1959. Anyway, Caleb gets Lucinda's envelope and he...
Hey, what'd you get? Boring. Everyone else got a picture.
Is that kid going to be a main character?
No.
Is he going to die at the end?
Presumably, yes.
Good.
So Nick sees Samara's letter and notices that some of the numbers correspond to the dates of disasters over the last 50 years and the number of dead, with a few numbers showing near future dates. He soon discovers that the rest of the numbers on the page correspond to latitude and longitude, when the next event almost smashes right into his coordinates. The rest of the film follows him trying to stop these disasters and failing.
We also follow Caleb, who's starting to hear the same voice as Lucinda was, and is getting approached by creepy men in black. His hearing aid acts up whenever they're near, but since he also hears voices when they're near, the thing doesn't really have any purpose in the film. Whatever. Thinking his son is in danger, John tries to meet up with Lucinda's daughter to get information.
Which he manages to do in the creepiest and most awkward way possible. In any case, she says she can't help him. Diana is portrayed as a nervous, terrified idiot through much of this film, but that may have something to do with Mother Samara telling her kid the exact date of her death.
Spoilers?
Wait, if she stayed as creepy as she was when she was a kid, how'd she end up bearing offspring? Who would marry her? Pugsley Addams?
Well, after John tries and fails to stop a foretold subway disaster, Diana does agree to help him and takes him to her mother's creepy private home. There they discover that the last disaster didn't have coordinates because it was going to be worldwide. While they're figuring this out, Caleb and Diana's kid, Abby, are once again approached by the men in black, and John rushes out to confront them.
Anyway, John discovers that it's going to be a massive solar hiccup that'll do Earth in. Diana suggests going to some caves to try and wait it out, and to keep her calm, John agrees. While gathering supplies, he finds Caleb writing numbers, just like Samara was. He takes away his paper and pen, and the kid starts trying to scratch it into the desk.
John realizes that Lucinda scratching on the door was her way of finishing what the teacher interrupted, and drives over to the school, takes the closet door, and uncovers the hidden numbers, which are coordinates.
Wait, when John was talking to the old teacher about Lucinda, she told him exactly which door in the entire school she was scratching at?
Stop nitpicking.
Well, meanwhile, Diana is getting impatient with John's closet door investigations and drives both the kids off to the caves. Getting a hold of her at a gas station, John reveals that they'd still get fried in the caves and that they need to go to the coordinates on the door.
Wait, they figured that the disaster was going to be global because it had no coordinates, but as soon as he found the coordinates, he thought it was the only safe spot? That doesn't make...
Stop nitpicking.
Well, Diana refuses to believe John, and the men in black, getting just as annoyed as we are by her panicked whining, decide to just take her car with the kids inside to the coordinates. She gives chase and is promptly hit by a truck.
Meanwhile, John also goes to the coordinates, where he discovers that, yep, they're aliens, and the kids reveal that said aliens chose them to leave Earth while...
What?
They're holding rabbits.
So they're cute.
Yeah, but traditionally rabbits represent sex and fertility.
Oh. Ew. Come on, director. We know the story of Noah's Ark.
Okay, so Caleb and John have a teary goodbye, the aliens haul ass out of there, and the world ends. The kids run off the ship onto a new planet, fade to black. Now, can we take a moment to look at the approach these aliens took here?
Sure. First, they use their omnipotence to identify a planet in peril.
Then, they find a little girl on said planet and give her visions of the future so horrible she'll eventually be driven to suicide.
Then they put on the most menacing-looking human suits they can find and start creepily stalking and whispering to a couple of kids they've chosen.
Then, tired of waiting for the kids' guardians to get what they're trying to do, they kidnap said kids, causing one of the parents to die while pursuing them.
Then they act like the kids have a choice whether or not to go with them, knowing they will.
Then they set the kids onto a new planet without any guardians, where they will revert to savagery.
And start again at step 1.
Well, that was the knowing. Despite a few plot holes, it was overall a very solid film. Sympathetic characters and a coherent storyline. I got no real complaints. So, Christina, did nitpicking through the film end up ruining it for you?
No, not really.
And? Well, this has been...
Christina!
And Victor with the Junkyard.
Thanks for watching.
So what do we do now?
Watch the rabbits, they'll show you the way.